David Erdos with poem 32 from Unease and Verses from Difficult Times. It's a joke in this title. Happy crisis, mass. Of what Bing Crosby once crooned, we can now only dream of. Some far-away, distant feature of peace and goodwill, and former bountiful days, where the wine was mulled and still heady, instead of the whining from the soon-to-be cold, as it spills. So the cups runneth over for some, as they hold their increasingly secret parties, to which, thankfully, less are coming, as they have finally had enough of the fat fool at the feast of his own all-consuming ambition, which feeds without purpose, while the taste for shit and meat remains tough. This new strain now recodes, sounding like an old Alan Sugar computer, and the closing program announces something even worse than before. We saw it coming, of course, after the desperate return to enjoyment. It was as if fallen lemmings had tried to rescale the cliff. And I saw, to see on the street and on the news, that delusion of which Crosby's Christmas was a variant too. A pipe dream, but sadly not a valiant one, flying in the face of contagion, but just another mask in fake snowfall which offers no protection at all to cold schemes in either weather or war, as it has been a little of both. Let's be honest. A cold front and first summer of intense heat, then a thaw, before this sly slide back to where we were, nearly. The coming weeks will reveal this, as tragedy becomes the tradition and we are pushed back into prisons erected behind freedom's door. All the Welsh nightclubs have closed, and once more the length of life is 2 meters. Resistant passengers are required to condom their face once again so as not to fuck up or penetrate others' ether. The trains are already more empty while buses beget barrelled pain. They're calling it a small Christmas once more, part of a far greater crisis, stemming as it does from the removal of what was once the year's goal. 2 days fun and feast beside the family bosom. But now the temperature of a witch's tit brings no comfort, and even the cost of a kiss may soon scold. But let's not call it a crisis. Let's strive to find alternatives to the happy. Perhaps resignation can become the new rock and roll, or the new contentment, perhaps, a zen sourced by ending what we knew once and treasured, now that pleasure is found in a pole. With wannabe despots deposed and harridans halted, we might gift our present with perspective at least, and then strength to construct a new land out of these parboiled pavements, and where freshly made ghost towns for the living will form a tale that's told at great length, when a new world will be built, though I may not live to see it. But perchance I can write it or picture it in crayon. A madman's pencil, perhaps, but one at least which is primal. So, as I scribble these random views, I describe a cry in the is that will soon subside into singing, from a mass chorale who'll write carols as chaos at Christmas is just another thing they'll imbibe. Happy whatever, then. And here's to your resolution. Do not accept what they tell you, and as you are pumped and spiked, question still. For that gift alone is always the one that keeps giving. Serialize Santa for the whole of next year. Worship will. David Erdos, December the 18th, 2021.